Now, this is something that I've been pondering, and I believe it's beneficial for everybody to reflect on. It's the simple question: who am I to be selective? Who are you to decide who you give your attention to? It's a great question, because it's no good to be indiscriminate in action, but to be indiscriminate in our response is to live life with zest and a heightened degree of inner pleasantness, because ultimately it's living life with a limitless sense. To be limitless with how we respond to life, to not react to it unwittingly, is to be of heightened competence, is to live life with a heightened degree of receptivity and openness, and thus with success, inner success, which is ultimately one's degree of inner competence, right? Because one can go to school and get a degree and be a success in terms of business, right? You can learn business competence intellectually, but viscerally and inwardly, to be pleasant no matter what the experience, is to live life again with a limitless sense, to be conscious of our responses, right? Nowadays, it's funny. Some of us think we know everything because of the internet. Now, the internet is great, but you got people going to the doctor's office saying, I want this prescription, I'll take this, and I won't take that, because people are internet doctors, because they've went online and researched a few things, and now they're, professional patients. We don't want to be a professional patient. It's good to be a doctor. They know, because you had the experience. That's what they do for a living, right? And they have, years of actual experience. Whereas, going online and looking up a few things, people think they know it, and that's a lot of us think we're doing. I'm doing this, and that's the problem. That's where we get caught up in, the notion of separateness, rather than that feeling of receptivity and oneness, being open to everything and living life with a limitless sense, being conscious of our responses. If we're selective, then we're defining ourselves as separate. And it's also something I want to mention. Now, I don't have a TV, and I never will. I just assume close my eyes and sit simply with inner stillness and silence, and I'm not going to try to define with words what that's like, because you do that enough, your experience of life is going to be reflected outwardly very pleasantly. You're going to naturally be very pleasant, and thus your degree of inner competence will be heightened, and your degree of outer success accordingly. You'll be everybody's favorite coworker, because you'll be pleasant to be around, because no matter what's happening around you, you're pleasant within yourself, and thus you respond accordingly. You don't let whatever's happening around you dictate how you're feeling inwardly, or your experience of life, your witness of this eternal moment now, which is ever joyous. God is ever new joy, is everlasting joy, is ever present as the presence which is always with us, no matter what we're doing, no matter the activity. Is expressing as all of humanity, as each and every one of us. and to be conscious. Oh, there's a deer. Watch it. Look at this. See him over there? That's my beat up car. It's missing a bumper. They're watching me. They're right behind the... Yeah, you see them moving. It's kind of cool, right? Unexpected. Oh, little Bambi. Here goes Bambi running. Yo, check out my car. Passed inspection, right? Shit. I'm gonna ride that bad boy till the wheels fall off. Who needs a new car? I got everything I need, right? I'm whole and complete. I accept every blessing that you bestow upon me, Lord. That's a good affirmation. It just came automatically. Shit. It rhyme. Because, yeah, I've given a lot of focus to rhyming and words and speaking and writing. So, at a certain point, it becomes automatic and thus effortless. Going back to focus and attention. That's key. We can see that divinity, whoever created all this, I like to think of it in terms of a what, right? Because who kind of implies that notion of a father figure or some kind of, we're humans. We like to think of God as a human, as a man. But a buffalo, put yourself in the buffalo shoes. A buffalo is probably going to think of God in terms of a buffalo, right? So I like to say whatever created all this, think of the care and the attention put into every piece. A blade of grass. Was any more care given to you than to the blade of grass? Or to the ant? Or to the peacock? Which is actually, better decorated than you because you've got to put on all sorts of makeup and decorations and dyes and, make whatever it is. I'm not saying you personally. I'm just, a lot of us may feel we have to decorate our outer appearance, but that's missing the point. See, we want to be focused inwardly and develop a heightened degree of inner competence, because that's really going to determine our life experience, how we witness this epic unified field of consciousness, that which we're all a part of, that which we fundamentally are. Pure consciousness, pure awareness, which is wholeness in and of itself, not needing anything else outside of itself, because everything is inside this sense of oneness. And we really want to understand that this awareness, the awareness that we are, it's the same awareness that's in the light of a newborn's eyes. You look into their eyes, wow, they're lovingly aware. They're simply aware. They have no problems. They're pure innocence, pure awareness. And that same awareness, that light that's in the newborn's eyes, is the same awareness within you and within me and with everybody in humanity. We want to understand this consciously so that we can respond accordingly and not live in terms of being a separate identity. Thinking that I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm all these things on the surface, which are great, they can help us navigate the earthly experience, our role, whatever our purpose is in this world. But we don't want to think that's what we fundamentally are. We want to know that we're pure awareness and be grounded in that. And thus, live a life that's harmonious with that sense of connectedness, with no separation. So that, like I said, I don't have a TV. And what brought that to mind is, what's going on in the world currently. I'm not up to date on worldly matters by any means. I don't watch the news or any of that. But from what I understand, there's some people talking about World War III, right? And those that have recently are in the past. Those who have dropped bombs on humanity. Whether it be, intellectual warfare, or biological warfare, or actual bombs, atomic bombs, right? Those people are living with that sense of separateness. They've lost that awareness, that they are awareness. That's what they are. To be aware that, wow, I exist right now. This is it. This is the eternal moment. To live with that bliss constantly, in that inner pleasantness. They've lost sense of that. They've lost sense of that inner competence and inner sense of connectedness, and ability to feel reverence and sacredness for the total whole life experience. That willingness to transfer their attention to the whole of humanity. Whether that be simply sitting in the stillness and silence inwardly. Whether that be in a repetition of God's name, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Jesus, whatever it is, etc. Whatever the name is for you. Whether it be devotional service, which may be rightly called devotional service if it's a willingness of giving one's attention to the whole, as opposed to dividing it up and being discriminate. I'm giving my attention to this and that, as if I'm separate from it, as if this is deserving of it and this isn't. And that type of selection is living life in a sense of separation, severance, being cut off from that wholeness of creation, that sense of oneness and thus abundance, and being aware, constantly conscious of our powerful life essence, that which is our source, that which we fundamentally are, that is the nexus to our soul awareness, that powerful energy within us, which connects us so that we can be consciously aware that we are awareness. And it becomes automatic. We don't have to try to do that intellectually. We don't have to feel that we're doing it, because we naturally are it. One might go through considerable intellectual investment of constantly I'm aware, I'm pure awareness, that constant self-inquiry. That's great. But after a while, it becomes automatic. You operate and live harmoniously automatically, without a separate identity, without feeling like you're separate from all this. It's really that illusion, thinking that we're a birth certificate identity, thinking that the system we've been brought up into, modern education taught us, that we're this, that we're, defined by our grades or whatever it is. our ability to accumulate and memorize information that has to do with the surface world. That determines our value. That's to live very confused. To think that social reality, to think that appearance is essence. Now, of course, essence expresses as appearance. And that which we are, our essence, it gives rise to this amazing, wondrous, earthly experience. But you don't want to think that we're separate energetically, because all of humanity is one energy. And to understand this consciously, it's to live life with awareness, and to live life with the sense that you're limitless. And thus, everything around you will respond to you harmoniously. Because ultimately, you're not separate from it. Sometimes a simple smile, that can change a whole person's day. Somebody asked me why I smiled yesterday. Why are you smiling? I said, I don't know. It kind of just happened that way, right? Everything's happening. I'm not doing it. It's doing itself, right? The world's happening around me. My heart's beating. I'm breathing. You can pay attention to it, or you cannot. Anyway.